chilly Monday night here at Harris Street Reserve. The Wrap coming to you once again from Harris Street in Warrnambool, talking about round 11.
Round 11 already.
Round 11 already. Carlos Del Rio here with my friend
Simon Morgan,
bringing you all the action once again from Warrnambool Soccer and Warrnambool District Soccer League. Lots to talk about today, so we'll get straight into it. The first one, of course, was there was no junior soccer this weekend because of the Melbourne Victory Roadshow the week before, so we gave everyone, including coaches and trainers, that day off. But there was senior soccer, and so the boys from Jenny Flat Rangers had to come early and put the nets up for a change.
That's a play, yes, we did.
They didn't have the luxury of us, the junior club, putting the gear on for them. So Stevie McDonald's organised his team, and the Dick and
It was a
Dragons
proper team effort. So very proud lads. But Jenny Flat came out to play, and they had Deacon Dragons as a
opponent. So it was top of the table versus the bottom of the table at the moment, but the Dragons were a little bit undermanned. A couple of late withdrawals due to illnesses. The winter weather has come to bite a few teams, actually, including my own, with this weather that's coming in and making a few players unavailable. However, Jenny Flat Rangers showed up with 13 players, including my partner here, who after last week's little incident was ready to go again.
Next feeling a lot better, so I put my hand up. Trained on Thursday night with the lads and was ready to go. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Simo actually played on the park for a bit of the first half there, and he obviously was doing the lines as well for his team, helping him out that way. But having two on the bench was something that you guys haven't had for a little while.
Yeah, no, we've had to play, sort of 11. We might have had the luxury of having 12, but we had a bit of a luxury with some rotation. So perhaps it was.
And your team, they're strong in pretty much all the positions being held there. You've got a couple of goalkeepers, very good defenders, very good strikers, and also the midfield. The midfield. You've got in John McMillan, he was in Scotland. The moment when he comes back, we keep sending him messages how good the boys are doing at the moment, and the girl. Can't forget Sparky. But disappointing last year, and this year they've raised the bar with it, and they sure did. You guys raised the bar another level.
Oh, we took it up another notch, and just let everyone know that we're here to win it.
Yeah, you are. You're looking pretty strong. Besides the fact that Steve McDonald's had to talk to all of you guys about the new code of conduct for each of the clubs, and that's been spread across through training as well, and the referees also bringing in a little bit more into sportsmanship into the game as well. But to say that, your lads were exceptional. I thought both in their behaviour and in their play. So
a lot more composed, and I'd like to think that perhaps my message of keep a lid on it is starting to spread.
It is, and it was. And just to spoil the party a bit, because we're not talking about the Dick and Dragons that much at the moment here, but obviously, listen, Jenny Flat Rangers had a very good win. 11-1 in the end, and we'll go through all the goals in the action right now.
We will.
2 minutes into the game,
it didn't take long for the.
It didn't take long for Steve McDonald to get on the park, and he actually, it was a nice opportunistic goal, but a lot of work done by I think it was Michael Romance, taking in a couple of the defenders out wide, cut inside the box, crossed it in perfectly for Stevie. Stevie, all he had to do was just lift his leg up, let it hit, and he went in. And but to get in that position, Steve McDonald, he's not the quickest player on the park, and he's not the but he's one of the smartest ones, and he knows where to stand. He was definitely there. Second minute goal. Then, unfortunately, the next goal was an own goal. 16th minute. Unfortunately, Chris Bellman, the captain, playing full back, was just running at the ball. A bit of a mishap between him and Liam Drake in goals, and he pretty much passed the ball in goals. he just passed it in and went in, and that was a bit of a heartbreaker because to that point, for 16 minutes last week, he'd already kicked 4 goals against the Stingrays. So to be only 2-0 down at that time, the Dragons obviously we're not far away from it.
No, but they were trying to cling on. They were trying to cling on.
But you guys were dominating. To tell you the truth, you probably could have scored a lot earlier. And but Liam played well in goals up to that point. And also the back line was actually not too bad, cutting down the runners and stuff like that.
They were able to hold off another goal until the 36th minute. Yeah. From Mr. Jason Sutton. And
Jason Sutton's goal, actually, that was one of these ones that he just went one way, went the other one, went one way, and in traffic too. It was right, he went through probably about 3 different Deacon defenders and midfielders, and Jason's got this magnificent technique where he holds the ball right at his feet. It's almost like it's stuck to his feet. He just does this little run and he scored a beautiful goal.
He's got great technique, absolutely.
Yeah, but then sort of after that goal, they dropped the heads a bit, and there were 3 late goals in the half. 42nd minute for Stephen Shields. Then your friend,
Mr. Romans.
Michael Romans gets on the score sheet, 44th.
Yeah.
There was another goal on the 45th for Lee Hunter. Was given, so 42, 44 and 45th, 3 goals in quick succession towards the end of the half, and
that's
that
really just kind of buried their hopes.
This is where actually those 3 minutes, that sort of final 10 minutes of the half, you were on the park.
I was actually kind of helped set up Michael Romans' goal. There was a bit of a dodgy pass. I was trying to do a bit of a deeper cross to Sparky. It kind of went a little bit wayward. Got to Sparky, thankfully. Although she probably had to come to Warrnambool, so pumped it off to Michael. Ping.
It was a goal, and so you came in and you bowled over Michael.
I beat a player. How about that? I actually beat one player.
Tended along the way, he hit the floor again. But 6-0 at the half again. Like last week, you guys were cruising.
In control,
And we were, the Dragons were struggling a bit. The only bad thing is during that half, there was a yellow card to Michael Romans. Consistent bad language, and it was good to Stan Branch called it and sort of settled everyone down after that point. And must say that after that, Michael played an exceptionally quiet game as well. Let his football do the talking.
Exactly.
And he, after that, he scored the goal in the 44th. Second half, pretty much the same thing.
One-way traffic.
Although, exactly right. There was something interesting that happened in that game, that half for the Dragons. But we've got here 57th minute Lee Hunter.
Making it a brace.
And Michael Romans 60th minute to get his brace. Stevie Shields gets in the actual in the 79th, just after Jason Sutton got on the park on the 77th as well.
But before that, again, we had a penalty. And I'm trying to remember what was it a bad tackle? I'm trying to remember now.
I reckon it was a bad tackle.
I think it was a bit of an average tackle, and it was pulled up by Stan, believing it was a foul tackle in the penalty box. Penalty was given, and I was called into goals in the half. I was, so I stepped to the side and tried to get my delay tactics, and unfortunately, on my end, it wasn't quite the case. Chris Berman stepped up.
You went the right way, though.
I went the right way. I couldn't help but feel he was going to sort of go my left, his right. But he just put too much power on it.
He did. And
he's a dead ball specialist.
There's a beautiful picture on Facebook from the Dragons side as well that you can actually see the ball at the back of the net high and Simba actually on the right side of it already passed him. It was a very good penalty by Chris. But then he gave a penalty away in the 85th minute. So it was up and down for the captain. Handball, deliberate handball. Some say it had already crossed the line, but he was more apologetic because he raced it. But the penalty was given, and Tommy Saville stepped up, and actually his penalty was something else as well.
Yeah.
Well hit in the striker to
good.
score his only goal of the game too, 86-minute penalty, and that's where the scoring stopped.
So that's a hat-trick of sorts for young Bellman. He's got an own goal, he's got a penalty goal, and he's picked up a yellow.
Yellow card. Good on you, Chris.
Well done,
And
Chris.
Chris actually was doing officiating the game after as well. So, but in saying that, 11-1
11-1 win.
kept the Dragons at the bottom of the table
Ourselves
and
up.
put JD Flat Rangers further up.
And that result has absolutely definitely confirmed that JD Flat will be in the finals in some capacity.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
best on ground for J Flats, we had Ralph Behrendt playing an absolute stunning game and put in an absolutely brilliant sliding tackle, sort of last man on the fence. And
He was. I hope it wasn't him that gave the penalty away, but I thought Rob, he played a very strong game on the fence, and also didn't go too crazy as well.
Right.
He was timing his tackles really well.
Steve Shields as well as Jason Sutton picking up a nod from referee Stan Branch. And for the Deakin Dragons, a hat-trick hero of sorts, you could say, Chris Bellman, Aiden Lyon, as well as Jacob Sargent. I think that's the first time we've seen Jacob Sargent back.
Jacob hasn't been back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, he was getting frustrated because he sole striker for the Dragons. Of all sorts, if you like. I mean, you've got people like Lee Hunter, Rob Behrendt, and I think Bo Arnold at that point was in the back line. Very hard to get through those guys. And Jacob actually got through in a couple of occasions, but obviously these boys know where to put the bodies in and block any attacking opportunities. So that was that game. Second game on the park was over at Scotts Creek, between Scotts Creek Lions and Thunderhawks. Thunderhawks were coming in to the game with a 3-win streak.
Yes.
Sitting nicely in third position there. Scotts Creek Lions were looking for a home advantage of sorts for this game. And I think from all the reports it was a tight game. It wasn't, both teams were a little bit low on numbers, although the Thunderhawks were actually depleted with only 11 on the park.
Yeah.
They've usually had a fair bit of a bench.
Usually have a sub, but usually 3 subs. So
yeah, they have plenty of legs normally, which helps them in the game they play, because they do play a lot of possession football, which obviously it takes a fair bit of energy, but it wasn't to be. The streak is broken, Sima.
It's done. It's done. Karanga Mike. Scotts Creek Lions, I apologise. Ronnie's doing something over there. The water must be good. They got a 1-0 win.
They got a 1-0 win.
And that lone goal has come through Adam Holmes in the 39th minute.
Yes, first half goal. So it was a very tight 1-0 game for the rest of the game as well. So listen, it was good game for both teams. The interesting thing about the Thunderhawks is that another debut, a young fellow, Kitaro Hewson, made his debut for his mum and dad's team. Lady Hewson, dad, Merri Hewson, mum, playing for the Thunderhawks, and they've brought a young Kitaro who plays for the Merri Stingrays in the under-15 competition. So congratulations, Kitaro. Hopefully we know another 14-year-old taking home part.
Doesn't look 14.
No, he's. If you know Merida and you know Huey, he's a good lad. No, it was good. He got the call up early, I think it was Saturday night when I got the call to see if Kitaro was registered to play, and he definitely is. And the captain David Yates and Nick Johnson, there's vice captain, so we gave him good. So well done, Kitaro. Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't get the win this time around, but without having a full team there as well, so it was a bit hard. You're missing Josh Mutre, you're missing Big Nick Van Wingard, and people like that who are very been solid. Gil Malabar came back. He hasn't been around for the last couple of weeks, so he was on the park. But yeah, listen, Ronnie, congratulations, Scotts Creek. Good win to you guys, which now makes it made it very hard for us in the next end of the Stingrays, because now we didn't know the result of this call before our game started, but in saying that, he has made something very interesting for 4 teams in the league. The rest of them, including Deakin Dragons.
I think we should mention as well, we don't really have much footage, but I believe congratulations for Bray Wright for able to maintain a clean sheet, especially against a side like the Thunderhawks.
Yes.
Who do have some attacking players, and a clean sheet in any game, I think, is well deserved. So,
yeah,
what on,
Bray?
What on, boys?
Yep. Naming the best,
Yeah, we've got. You can't go past this guy, Louis Guy. He's got to be the favourite to win the best player.
He's getting up there.
He's definitely up there.
He's always getting votes in the bests.
Jared Linehan and James Closer picking up the nods for bringing up lines from referee Bill Stewart. And for the Thunderhawks, we had Marita Houston, Nick Johnson, and Gil Malabar being the best for the losing team.
Okay, so now we're down to the last game. There's some footage for this game between Merri Stingrays and Hamilton Raiders. Yep. As we said before, Chris Bellman of all sorts had a hat-trick before, and he also had to, he was down in the appointments to referee this game. So Chris and Jim, the dynamic duo, were refereeing this game and doing the assistant, as well as King Cameron from Hamilton came over here to do the line for Raiders. Listen, it was built up as an interesting game. The Stingrays defeated Hamilton here at home the first week of the season.
That was the very first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5-3 game win. And then Hamilton hosted us over there, and another close game. It was a 4-3 win to them. So we've got a bit of history going into the battle. Coming back from suspension, Malcolm Grimmer came into the side, coached by Josh Franks from Hamilton, and a couple of the young lads that were there also were playing. Mika McCarthy, Delitso Mwale. They brought in Tristan Pickering, played a really good game as well. So some of the youngsters travelled here to Harris Street. For the Stingrays, we were still out without our normal goalkeeper. So I had to ask. Diggs was still out. Millsy's not too well, had some injury from football as well. Couldn't really take on the gloves. And Michael Mills, being our captain, we really need him on the park as well. So I had to give the gloves to Austin Del Rio, who actually played a strong game in goals.
I agree, absolutely.
I thought he did good, and the footage will show some of the stuff that he did. But the first goal was recorded by Hamilton after a very good save by Austin, denying Mika McCarthy from a header. The header came in, and Mika and Austin just tipped it over the bar.
Yep.
At that point, it was only I think it was the 17th, it was 15th minute of the game. Since that point, actually, James Skinner had been brought down just outside the box, sort of in the opening moments, and the Stingrays had a good chance to probably take a set piece shot, if you like, or some kind of set piece, but it wasn't to be. Something that we have to practice, I think, a bit more, because of those opportunities were there, but we didn't take them. Wrestled for the first 15 minutes. Peter Hodkinson, Mel Grimmer, James Taylor, those boys from Hamilton, very good, and they moved the ball really well around. They had us sort of running around a little bit. We were playing with a single striker. Tolga Merrick was up front, and we dropped Danielle Busardo in the left back. Again, unavailabilities from my teams forced us to play Danielle in the left back, and she did a good job.
I was just saying, Lewis Jones not playing.
No, Lewis, he was usually one of our left backs, or when we drop Alex Sheedy, when we have an extra sort of centre back, but he wasn't too big. Only 11 on the park for my team. But listen, we did all right. But 16 minute, a corner comes in.
And Jordan Neese. I think he put the ball in goal bound, and I was on the goal line, and I've stuck my foot out to clear it. Austin hasn't seen me. He's cleaned me out. Look at this footage. Cleaned me out. He should have let me kick it out the way. He reckons I could have got it, but I was on the line and my foot was there. So I squeezed it out, it's cleaned me out, slammed it straight at Jordan Neese again, and he's
thundered it through. He wasn't going to miss another shot, so he scored his first goal.
First goal, 17th
for the
minute.
17th minute. Up to that point, it was, like I said, pretty strong wrestle, but it didn't take long for them to get another goal.
Yeah.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, 22nd minute, John Morrison scoring a goal.
And that goal was actually against the run of play too, because the Stingrays had done well to win the ball sort of at the halfway line and were pushing forwards. A missed pass, if you like, or players all pushing up and not supporting, allowed Hamilton to win the ball, move it nicely into the centre for a quick attack, and John Morrison just smashed it from our keeper to make it at 2-0.
And that's what it stayed at half time.
That's always stayed at half time. I'm just trying to remember if there's any other actions. Did we have any shots? I know I had a couple of shots in the first half. Tolga had a couple of shots.
I mean, yeah, I think from memory, I mean, you guys had your chances, but you just didn't take them.
No, we didn't. And
Hamilton made them count.
we did. We had 10 players on the park as well at that time. Ish.
Oh, that's right. Ish was a little late.
So that's probably one of the reasons why we weren't quite gelling in the formation that we started in. But certainly, Ish was back. Was in for the time the second goal came.
And that would be probably why that sort of.
I think the other came in or after that. I think we were already been 2-0 already by the time the rush came.
I think his presence definitely helped though. Having
Afterwards,
taller, stronger body in the mid definitely helped.
Yeah, having 10 against 11 has always been hard for my team.
Especially
but Ish is a farmer and he's sometimes it's calving season or whatever it is at the moment. He sort of struggles to get here from Port Fairy way, but he was here, so fantastic. By that time he came back, everything was sort of square. So the half started up 2-0.
Which is pretty respectable given that Hamilton Raiders are notorious for being a very attacking side. Like we've seen scorelines from previous rounds where, 10, 12 blowouts. So,
not against my team, but yes, they have. They've got a very, very potent midfield and some very good players who construct the ball really hard from distance. In saying that, they also have a three-time Golden Glove winner, Ralph Behrendt, who had a fantastic game, denying all my boys anything, including a couple of sure things in the second half, which we're about to talk to. But in the first half, a couple of shots from the Stingrays didn't happen. Hamilton had a couple of opportunities. Young Dalitsu Muwale had a nice clean shot that was actually well saved by Austin. Mika McCarthy again playing well to win some possession in the box, but again we had Alex Sheedy and Nigel Gray playing a very good game.
Yeah, I thought Nigel played a really good game.
Yeah. So the brief was going down and listen, we got our third keeper in, make sure you guys in centre back don't give any one-on-ones, and they certainly did that. Both goals were sort of from set pieces or from a mistake from us that allowed them to score. So the second half, we were there, we were looking, we were searching for goals.
Yeah, no,
we had our chances, including a penalty, which happened in the 70th minute. But just before that, actually, Michael Brimmer got on the action. Good on you, Mal. You had a 65th minute goal. And Simo, you were on the sidelines, but I reckon Mal probably played his best game.
I honestly believe that Mal was really playing quite well, sort of getting in the action, sort of moving about a bit, stringing up some passes, helping up string some passes. I thought he really did play
and he pulled his head in as well. He let the football do the talking for him. Obviously, he served the suspension in the previous round for a red card, and he tackled fairly.
Fair.
He won some balls, but he wasn't doing anything silly. There was one silly thing that happened not long after that goal was scored, which was interesting because in the last 20 minutes, the thing that was missing from the Stingrays was luck. I believe it was just luck in the end, and also some desperation from a fantastic outfit from Hamilton, who were making sure that nothing got past them, even when they were looking down the barrel. But saying that, 70th minute, Peter Hodkinson picked up a yellow card for a slide from behind.
Can't help but have a bit of a laugh at his reaction. I'm sorry, I am sorry. I'm sorry, Peter, but a little bit shocked, a little bit perplexed. I think they were sort of wondering why, and perhaps it was made clear, but we'll make it clear to everyone the actual reason, and you'll see it on your screen. Sliding from behind. It generally is pretty much frowned upon if you are trying to tackle from behind, because it is a pretty dangerous manoeuvre. And Chris Spellman seeing fit that a yellow card be given for that particular tackle.
It wasn't a hard tackle, if not, but he did have, my player was ready to shoot, and he stepped over the ball and he slid in from behind, obviously thinking that he could get the ball. He could have got the ball if my player had sort of stepped away. But those kinds of things can have injuries, and Chris called it. Penalty was awarded. Michael Mills wanted to take it.
The captain.
So he's put his ball down and was ready to go. I actually had walked away. I hate looking at penalties for a couple of reasons, but sometimes in the game, just let it, let the players and the goalkeeper have their thing. But in this case, Michael steps up, hits the ball quite firmly,
saves,
and Ralph Behrendt gets a save.
Great save.
Great save. You see it on the footage, and it's come off not only from the save, it's actually hit the bar as well. And Michael has done well to get back into the box, to following his shot. But Behrendt is there again, and he smothered the second shot to deny the Stingrays a
potential goal.
Probably a sure thing. What would have been a sure thing, for sure. And that did a lot to lift the Hamilton players. They were, particularly, I guess they were a bit down that they'd given away a penalty, but in saying that, Ralph Behrendt was a champion. He was a great save, and he does it again. about 5 minutes later, Stingrays, he's come out actually. He redeemed himself. He came out to meet the ball. He didn't get to it. Sammy Blackman did well to get to the ball, shield it, pass it to lose the ball to a Hamilton player, I think, and who lost it again. Ball's landed at Michael Mills's feet, and he's gone for the big shot. This is probably nearly halfway line, and he's chipped it over. The ball's gone, taking one bounce. And it's on its way. And Behrendt run all the way through and just punches the ball out at the last minute, just before it crosses the line, I believe, to save and again deny anyone from my team.
He was desperate to keep that sheet clean and spotless.
He did.
I don't think he wanted to use any Ajax or nappy sand this week.
This week, you reckon?
I don't know, but it happened. But I think Ralph was very determined,
and he did.
And that's how it stayed.
It stayed. We hit the post a couple of times. Hamilton had a couple of opportunities as well. Like I said, their defensive line were playing well, but again, 3-0 at that point. We were chasing something. Luck is what we lacked in the Stingrays. Hamilton played a very strong game. At one point, I was cheering them on the opposition because they were moving the ball well, and I was telling my players to, we had the man up. Or we keep possession. Too many times, too many players, too many teams give the ball away straight from goal kicks, and we're one of the teams that do that. That's a fair bit, so we're going to be working on keeping possession from goal kicks as well. But name in the best for both teams.
Hamilton Raiders, you can't say no to this guy, but Ralph Behrendt played an absolutely outstanding game. Challenged. I mean, usually with the Hamilton team, it's one-way traffic, but you guys really did take it up to him and had your chances. Ralph Behrendt said, nah, not today.
No.
So he gets a nod, as well as Anthony Hilton, Lizio Amwale, named as best for the Hamilton Raiders. Well, for your team, Carlos, we have Alex Sheedy, Nigel Gray, and Chris Bellman thought you had a good game as well.
He must
But so.
But in saying that, Nigel Gray.
He played a really good game.
He
played
I thought
really
he had
good game.
and Alex as well. My two Sundays. We asked him to do a bit of work because we had a third keeper. But in saying that, our keeper did a good game too.
Yeah, so generally speaking, I mean, your guys did well. It's just the luck didn't come your way.
No, we're looking back.
But you're up against good
the interesting thing now is that made interesting things for every team. So the ladder, as it stands after round 11, after those results, were Jenny Flat Rangers on 27 points, Hamilton Raiders on 27 points, Thunder Hawks 18, Merri Stingrays are holding on to 4th position by goal difference from Scotch Creek Lions, who are both on 10 points now.
Amazing. Yeah.
And Dick and Dragon 6 points, still in it. The battle for that 4th position is up for grabs, big time.
Yeah.
4 rounds left. Every games for those 3 are promotion relegation type games now.
Yeah. So Jenny Flat and Hamilton are definitely in the finals.
Yep.
Yeah, it's up to them to decide on their fate. You can't help but think Thunder Hawks are probably safe in 18th, but it's not entirely out of the possibility that things could come crashing down.
Well, there's 12 points. There's 12 points separating the top 2 and the Hawks.
Yeah.
And there is 11 points. 11 points? 9 points. Yeah, 9 points ahead. So they could finish up first as well.
Cool.
I know. But in saying that, the Hawks, the Raiders and the Rangers are definitely playing finals.
They're definitely playing finals, and the other 4, that could go either way. Like as you said, you could have the Thunderhawks miraculously finishing up top, or could just become a train wreck and they could finish out the finals, which would be a bit disappointing because they've been playing great.
The Hawks can finish up top or in the top 2. Saying that, or they can be out of the finals as well. So it's going to be an interesting 4 rounds of football, and everybody is looking forward to sort of playing some football. The standards were Warrnambool standard was here, taking some photos of the thinking game and your Jenny Flat Rangers game,
which is good to see.
So getting the word out there. Saying that, we got there is a big game coming up this week in Sydney. So we are sending our best to the A-League All-Stars,
Good luck,
who are going to be meeting
a couple of victory boys in the team as well.
Yeah, there are.
Bill Slisky.
Yep, Bill Slisky. Who else is there?
We've selected them apparently, but no.
Oh well, Ange Postecoglou is the coach.
Vice coach,
So the Melbourne Victory coach. So well, that's it for the wrap. We keep watching, keep sending us messages, and to the Dragons, apologies for cutting your calls, but we fixed it up. We won't be doing that this week, will we? We work as a team here, so Simo does a bit of the graphics and I do some of the cutting. So to everyone there in Soccerland,
yes.
What do you want to say? How do you say goodbye in Filipino?
There's a few variations, but I think from memory, I think it's just bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.